Good evening. Our top story tonight, Mark Andrews is back. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He has already returned. People were a little bit worried. Could this injury impact him during next year's fantasy season? Should I fade Mark Andrews? Looking like the answer is no. Mark Andrews well ahead of schedule. We've got other news. The Patriots basically confirmed they're going to be taking a quarterback with the third overall pick. We've got previews for all of these divisional round matchups and so much more on Player Profiler Today.
Hey, it's the Podfather.
And so we are back, and we got simply the best news possible. Mark Andrews practiced in full today. Mark Andrews is rip roaring, ready to go. Mark Andrews is back. He returned to practice last week. He was partaking in some of the non-listed practices because the Ravens didn't have a game this weekend. And so they didn't have to tell us what was going on, but we saw the news, we saw the reports, we saw the clips. Mark Andrews was back. He was limited yesterday in walkthrough, and now today Mark Andrews is practicing in full. Expect another full practice tomorrow. Ravens don't practice on Friday because they play Saturday. So on Thursday night, expect to get the word that Mark Andrews is officially back. And this is just fantastic. Mark Andrews has been so good for so many years. The wide receiver one for the Baltimore Ravens at tight end, though Isaiah Likely has been no slouch either. Isaiah Likely actually during the end of the fantasy football season outperformed Mark Andrews on a per game basis. Isaiah Likely is also damn good. Now, he is no threat to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is going to be back. He's going to be the one, but he's still coming back early from an injury. They're going to bring him along slowly. And so even if Mark Andrews doesn't completely pop this weekend against the Houston Texans, and if they get eliminated, we're not going to get another chance. But if the Ravens win, like they're expected to, then Mark Andrews will have another chance to prove himself that he's still got it. And then after that, the Super Bowl potentially to prove that he's still got it. So we have 3 chances for Mark Andrews to definitively prove that he's going to be okay for 2024. And if he doesn't, that's when the buy low window opens because Mark Andrews comes out slow. Mark Andrews still very young. He's got a long career ahead of him at tight end. So even if the production isn't there right away, that just means it's the buy low window opening for Mark Andrews. So this could not be better news. I traded Mark Andrews and Geno Smith for the 107 Well done, my friend. Jerod Goff, like we talked about yesterday, he's the new Kirk Cousins. He is the quintessential super flex QB2. He is the guy that you want on your roster as that second quarterback. And he can be a first quarterback too a lot of weeks. Jerod Goff oftentimes playing like a top 10 quarterback in fantasy football. AJ Brown is an upgrade over Mark Andrews. And you got the 107 as well. This was just a phenomenal trade. Well done, my friend. As for the rest of the Baltimore Ravens, Zay Flowers back at practice. He was limited yesterday. He practiced in full today. Zay Flowers looks like he's going to play. He missed week 18 with that calf injury, though. Pretty much everyone on the Baltimore Ravens missed week 18, though not so good news. Marlon Humphrey, the all-pro cornerback, not all-pro this year, but all-pro in the past, at least I believe. But Marlon Humphrey is still not practicing with a calf injury. That is a little bit worrisome. Jadeveon Clowney missed practice today. He's just sick, though, so that's not something to worry about long-term. And Devin Duvernay, the all-pro kick returner, punt returner, whatever he got, he is phenomenal as a returner. He has returned. He is practicing in full from that back injury, and it looks like Devin Duvernay will make his return this week. The one player that we know will not be playing for the Baltimore Ravens is Melvin Gordon. He has been cut. Dalvin Cook is officially the RB3 for the Baltimore Ravens heading into this weekend. Maybe he's more. Maybe he's the RB2. Maybe Dalvin Cook leapfrogs Justice Hill. Doubt he leapfrogs Gus Edwards because Gus Edwards just has his own role, but Dalvin Cook is going to see the rock for the Baltimore Ravens this weekend against the Houston Texans. As for the Houston Texans, Noah Brown, we know, was placed on injured reserve. Robert Woods is still limited with a hip injury. John Mechie still limited with a foot injury, but expect Woods to play, expect Mechie to play, and expect CJ Stroud to give it his all against the Baltimore Ravens, though I ultimately do think they come up short. He is going to put up another star-making performance, just come up short. But we've got more divisional round playoff news and more after this word from the Podfather.
Oh, I see it every day online, every single day. Hey, that looks like a great fantasy team in an 8-team league. Oh, wish I could be in a league with you, right? Well, guess what? Now you can respond with, sure, let's play on Bettle. That's the beauty of this platform. This new Bettle platform standardizes all position scoring. So you just load your team and you challenge your friend, your colleague, Twitter troll, and you can browse other teams and issue challenges. Bettle is revolutionizing fantasy football. And with code Underworld, you get a $100 instant deposit match plus a free $10. So even if you deposit $20, you get $50. Think about that. So go to Bettle.com. The code is Underworld. Bettle.com. The code is Underworld. Or click a link in the description. It's fun to be right. Now, I know many of you are looking for a secret weapon for your Dynasty League, and I have it. It's called the Dynasty Dominator app. You go to the App Store, go to Google Play. It's right there. It's $5 to download, and then every year it's $5 to load the next incoming class of rookies. You can add Superflex, add tight end premium. It's incredible because it allows you to look up players. It allows you to vote on whether a player is a buy, hold, or sell, and then see the market sentiment on that player. And you can compare their lifetime value rating from Player Profiler to their Dynasty ADP at the FFPC, all in the price lookup tool. And beyond that, we have a trade analyzer, so you'll never lose another Dynasty trade again. And in our settings, you can set this is a win now team, this is a rebuilding team, and then we let you compare players. Look at their metrics side by side, prospect metrics, NFL metrics. It's all there. It's $5 in the App Store. There's some add-ons for Superflex and to buy the upcoming rookie class. Every year, you're going to spend $5 on this thing, and it's going to be well worth it.
We are back. Make sure you check out the Dynasty Dominator. You can also subscribe to the Dynasty Deluxe on PlayerProfiler.com. We've got so much great stuff coming to you at PlayerProfiler.com. The news desk has rolled out. The news desk is going to be heavily integrated with this show because we've got so much news on this show. And we've got so many good people behind the scenes breaking down all that news, led by Bradley Stalder. You all know Bradley. You all love Bradley. Great things are coming. So make sure you check out the Player Profiler news desk. We've also got a whole fantasy section on the Player Profiler website. Cannot stress enough how many good things are coming at Player Profiler. But we've got more games, more great games coming in the NFL. The Green Bay Packers head to the San Francisco 49ers. Really no news on the San Francisco 49ers today. They are just good. They are just healthy. Christian McCaffrey is good to go. Trent Williams didn't practice yesterday, but he never practices on Tuesday. Actually, didn't practice today either, but Trent Williams never practices on Wednesdays either. They just give him rest days. Thursday, he'll practice. He'll be fine. Trent Williams is going to be good to go. Christian McCaffrey going to be good to go. Everyone for San Francisco is going to be good to go against the Green Bay Packers, who are looking pretty healthy as well. Now, Jaden Reed still limited with the chest injury. Christian Watson still limited with the hamstring injury. This is just more of a precautionary. There's no chance that either of these are going to miss. Jaden Reed, highly motivated after being blanked this past week. So expect a bigger game from Jaden Reed. And expect a big game from Aaron Jones once again. Now, he's limited with a knee and finger injury. We don't expect that to cause him to miss time. He's dealt with a knee injury. He's past that. They're just being cautious. They're load managing his reps in practice. But AJ Dillon is going to be out once again. Didn't practice today. Didn't practice yesterday. He still got that neck and thumb injury. AJ Dillon, do not expect him to play for the Green Bay Packers. So we're going to see a healthy dose of Aaron Jones. And can the Green Bay Packers, now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, can they vanquish the curse of the San Francisco 49ers? It has been so long. It has been so fierce. 49ers have eliminated the Packers so many times from the NFL playoffs. Is it going to happen again? Or can Jordan Love end the curse? I do not know. But I do know, like Anthony says here, Player Profiler News is the best news. It truly, truly is. You cannot beat the team that we have here at playerprofiler.com. Excited for things coming down the pipe. You've got so much good stuff coming. You don't even know what you don't know yet, but good things are coming. We've also got good things coming on Sunday at 3:00. The Bucks at the Lions kick off. The Lions have Sam Laporta practicing in full. He catches 3 passes for 14 yards, scores a touchdown, and plays quite a bit. More of a distraction, more of a decoy, but we see quite a bit of Sam Laporta. He doesn't get the targets. They're cautious with him. They're not dialing up plays until they need to in the red zone. Sam Laporta practicing in full. He just continues to get healthier and healthier, as does Khalif Raymond. Now, Khalif Raymond, the Pro Bowl punt returner for the Detroit Lions. He didn't practice today, but he is getting closer. There's a chance he could be limited tomorrow. And by Friday, we should know whether or not Khalif Raymond is going to play. But in the meantime, the Lions are excited to host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers once again, and they're already jawing at each other. CJGJ, CD Deuce, Chauncey Gardner Johnson says last week, talking about the wide receivers, that, they could have some great wide receivers if they had a quarterback. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, they don't have a quarterback. Wait, Russell Gage? Russell Gage and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Yes, that is right. Russell Gage is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hasn't played a snap, tore his ACL in the preseason, which was a very unfortunate injury. We hope Russell Gage is recovering well. But Baker Mayfield points out that CD Deuce, CJGJ, probably not watching a whole lot of tape if he thinks Russell Gage is still out playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is kind of funny because he didn't play last time they faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he actually might not have been watching that tape. And honestly, a lot of people just don't follow the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a smaller market. It's now that Tom Brady's gone, it's not a team that people are following. So do I blame safety for the Detroit Lions for not knowing who's the wide receiver 3 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? No, I do not. That's what I'm here for. That is what my job is. That's what we do here at Player Profiler. But CD Deuce, taking that doesn't watch a whole lot of film comment to heart. He's John at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, says he's going to pick off Baker Mayfield like he picked off Tom Brady. We will see how things all shake out, but Baker Mayfield is practicing in full. He has the rib injury. He has the ankle injury. He's going to be good to go. Baker Mayfield going to be playing. Though Chris Godwin didn't practice today. He's got a knee injury. He has missed plenty of time throughout the season with a knee injury, but a lot of practice time Chris Godwin has missed. I think he's going to play as long as he gets to practice in tomorrow. But so far, not great news for Chris Godwin. Both in Bucks Lions playing with a chip on their shoulder. They absolutely are. Both QBs in Bucks and Lions playing with a chip on their shoulder. Absolutely. Jerod Goff has been embraced by the city of Detroit. Baker Mayfield playing for literally $250,000 if he gets the win. Playing for a lot more money than that with a long playoff run and a potential new contract. Final game of the weekend. And of course, it's the main event. Chiefs at Bills. Chiefs are banged up. L'Jarius Sneed, their cornerback, their lockdown CB. He is limited in practice. Don't love that. Expect him to play, but Kadarius Toney's still limited. Sky Moore did open up his 21-day practice window. Sky Moore is back at practice for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if Sky Moore is going to be a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs, but I mean, he could be because the Chiefs wide receivers. Remember Sky Moore in the preseason, all of the hype. And I liked Sky Moore. I thought he was going to become something, and it's just a whole lot of nothing. Justin Ross also limited in practice today. But the Buffalo Bills do get some good news. Rasul Douglas is back to practice today. He's limited with a knee injury, but Rasul Douglas, who kind of turned this defense around at the trade deadline. The Buffalo Bills trade for Rasul Douglas from the Green Bay Packers and really just completely changes the face of this defense. Rasul Douglas is back. Great news for the Bills defense. Now, Christian Benford, one of the other cornerbacks, he's not practicing right now. He's got a knee injury. The slot cornerback, Teron Johnson, second team All-Pro Teron Johnson, he's limited with a concussion, but the fact that he's limited today is great news for his progress through the concussion protocol. That means we expect him to be practicing in full tomorrow, which would mean he's practicing in full on Friday, and Friday he would get cleared. So we're optimistic about Taron Johnson, not so optimistic about safety Taylor Rapp, linebacker Terrell Bernard, or Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis still battling that calf injury, still not practicing today. If Gabe Davis does play, expect to see Khalil Shakur as the wide receiver 2 and Gabe become that wide receiver 3 and kind of just more of a big play specialist or third down specialist, whatever the Bills need to get it done. But that's if Gabe Davis plays at all. Mentioned the linebackers, Terrell Bernard didn't practice. He's got an ankle injury. Tyrell Dodson is limited with a shoulder injury. And Baylon Spector didn't practice with a back injury. And we all remember they lost Matt Milano early in the season to a broken leg. So now AJ Klein, who spent a lot of time with the Buffalo Bills throughout the years, he's back on the roster. He comes off the street to basically play starter snaps for the Buffalo Bills. Might have to do that once again. Final piece of information from the Buffalo Bills, Leonard Fournette has been cut from the practice squad. Leonard Fournette is out of here. Now, I'm quite surprised by this because Leonard Fournette was more effective as a runner than Latavius Murray from what I saw, and he's a better receiver than Latavius Murray. But from what Bills commentators are saying, it was the pass blocking, which I admit I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to Leonard Fournette's pass blocking in that last game. Apparently, the effort wasn't there. Apparently, that's why Leonard Fournette is now on the street. Maybe they bring him back, but they needed the spot on the practice squad to sign a punter because Matt Hack has been signed to the practice squad. Sam Martin, the Bills punter, didn't practice today with a hamstring injury, suffered the injury on the blocked field goal, and hopefully Sam Martin's able to play. If not, they have a backup plan in Matt Hack, who I believe punted for the Buffalo Bills in the past. He definitely punted for the Miami Dolphins. He's been in the AFC East before. I think he was with the Buffalo Bills for a period of time as well. I could be wrong about that. But speaking of the AFC East, we saw the introductory press conference of Jerod Mayo. And let me tell you, I am excited about Jerod Mayo in the direction of the New England Patriots, starting things off by saying that this is his calling. It is the calling of Jerod Mayo to be a teacher and to develop people. And that is what being a head coach is all about. We like to get sucked into the X's and the O's and the boy wonder Sean McVays and the genius play caller Brian Dable and now Ben Johnson, brightest mind in the NFL. And that is all well and good. That is all very important. But the thing that makes or breaks a head coach is how they handle people. There's a reason that Adam Gase didn't work out as an NFL head coach because he's not that great with the people skills. Bill Belichick has his prickly side to it. Mike Vrabel has his prickly side to it, but they can manage people. Maybe Belichick started to lose it over the years, but Mike Vrabel, very well respected by the players playing for him. And that's why a guy like Dennis Allen has his backup quarterback changing the play to score a touchdown because he doesn't respect him. But Jerod Mayo clearly has the respect of the New England Patriots. This is a great, great move by the Patriots. First black coach in the history of the New England Patriots. So congratulations to Jerod Mayo. Now, they are still figuring out the front office structure. Who's going to be the general manager? They're looking to promote from within, but who's it going to be? How's it going to work? And you may be thinking, well, if Bill Belichick was the worst general manager and he was surrounded by all these people, why are they promoting from within? And that's because Bill Belichick was a bad general manager. He didn't listen to the people in the building. Bill Belichick just made his own decisions because he was his own boss, which granted, that's what you do when you're your boss, but it started to not work towards the end. So by all accounts, the people in the building for the New England Patriots, they were making the correct decisions that were just ignored by Bill Belichick. So we will see how things shake out for the New England Patriots and what the structure is going to be going forward. But we do know Despite Mac Jones being in attendance for this press conference, Mac Jones is no longer the QB1 of the New England Patriots. In an interview, either before or after, Jerod Mayo admits what everyone knows. The exact quote verbatim, we're going to draft the best player at a position that is very important, and you can figure it out from there. So the New England Patriots are going to take the best quarterback available at 3, or maybe at 2, or maybe at 1. Maybe there's a trade up, but the Patriots are going to be taking a quarterback, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's Drake May, whether it's Jaden Daniels. Patriots gonna have a new QB. And we have the Browns as well. Not a lot of people not returning. The Browns have fired their offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, their running back coach, Stump Mitchell, and their tight end coach, TC McCartney. And this may sound a little bit confusing because the Browns had 4 quarterbacks and still made the playoffs and still had a pretty successful offense at times. And the running back coach had to platoon it after Nick Chubb tore his ACL, and the tight end coach helped David Njoku have a career year. So why are all these guys on the way out? Now, I'm not there in the building with the Cleveland Browns, but the most logical assumption is Deshaun Watson is the face of the Cleveland Browns, and these guys didn't do enough to make Deshaun Watson look good when he was the quarterback. That would be my guess. I have no inside information, but what other reason is there to fire a guy who had success with 4 different quarterbacks, a running back coach that lost Nick Chubb and still had a successful running game, lost most of the offensive line and still had a successful running game, and the tight end coach that helped David Njoku break out? I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. We're not in the building, but outside looking in, not looking like a great decision by the Cleveland Browns. We will see what direction they go in. We'll see what direction the Chicago Bears go in as well. They interviewed Thomas Brown, the Panthers offensive coordinator, who is obviously on his way out. The Panthers are hiring a new head coach. We'll see who they end up hiring. They interviewed Raheem Morris today. They're going to interview Dan Quinn tomorrow or later this week. And the offense coordinator, Frank Smith for the Miami Dolphins, he was interviewed yesterday. They've also interviewed Chris Tabor, who is the interim head coach for the Panthers, Ejiro Evero, who's the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, Todd Monken, the offense coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, and Mike McDonald, the defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. So the Panthers catching a wide net. Don't know who they are going to end up signing. Back to Dennis Allen for a moment, though. Dennis Allen was described, or at least compared to, Bill Belichick, Tom Landry, and Bill Walsh by GM Mickey Loomis, saying they all had tough starts to their NFL career too. But the tough start mentioned for Bill Belichick was with the Cleveland Browns. And if we're going to include Bill Belichick's tough start with the Cleveland Browns, his first coaching experience, shouldn't we include the tough start of Dennis Allen with the Las Vegas Raiders, or at the time, the Oakland Raiders, who ended up firing him? And Amy Trask, the former team president, I believe was her title. I apologize if I misspoke, but Amy Trask was one of the most influential people in all of football for the Las Vegas Raiders, then the Oakland Raiders. And she worked with Dennis Allen. She was very candid, not surprised in the slightest that the team ignored Dennis Allen. Players do not respect Dennis Allen by all accounts. They didn't with the Raiders. They clearly don't with the Saints. But they're just going to keep moving forward. They're going to pick a new offensive coordinator. They're interviewing Dan Pitcher, the QB coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're interviewing Zach Robinson, the QB coach for the LA Rams / the passing game coordinator of the LA Rams. Zach Robinson, actually former colleague of mine. I used to work with him back at Pro Football Focus, PFF, back in the day. And Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, has been requested to have an interview with the New Orleans Saints. That one might get rejected, though. I imagine Shane Waldron, all the success that he's had over the past couple of years with the Seattle Seahawks, I imagine he's going to be retained by whoever that new coach is, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Other news around the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons, they continue to swing for the fences. We talked about how Bill Belichick was the favorite. They were looking to make a star hire. Now they're interviewing Jim Harbaugh as well, or they already did earlier today, or they're going to. I forget what the report is. There was a lot of reports today. And the coaching ones, I got to be honest, I remember the names that who goes where, but then sometimes I don't actually write it down the way that it should be. I just have interviewed Jim Harbaugh. It doesn't say if they interviewed him today, they're going to interview him. But either way, Jim Harbaugh interview with the Atlanta Falcons. I think it was today. And they're swinging for the fences. And the Falcons coaching search is interesting to me too, because they interviewed Bill Belichick, Mike McDonald, the Ravens defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, Anthony Weaver, the assistant head coach and defensive line coach of the Baltimore Ravens, and Brian Callahan, the offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. One offensive guy, and the rest are all defense, unless you count Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is technically an offensive guy, but he's more of a team guy. It's not like he's calling the plays or anything like that. Jim Harbaugh is a leader of men, and it looks like that's the way the Falcons are going. As for the Tennessee Titans, they interviewed Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown earlier today, and Brian Callahan is the first coach that we know is going to get a second interview with a team. Brian Callahan going to interview with the Tennessee Titans the second time. They had their Zoom interview. Now he will meet with them in person. Falcons did talk with Jim. Thank you. I thought that they did. Then I started second guessing myself, but Jim Harbaugh did go for the interview. Brian Callahan is the first person that we know is going to get a second interview with the Tennessee Titans. We have heard that the Titans really want Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator of the Houston Texans. So we'll see how this all shakes out. Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry admits on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast with Taylor Lewin that he was this close to be traded to two different teams. We already know the Ravens were one of them. Don't know who the second team is, but both those teams still in the playoffs. Poor Derrick Henry should have freed him. Wish that they had. He deserved better, but Derrick Henry gets to choose his own destination this offseason. And Kenny Pickett choosing not to go to media availability. This is very unusual because Kenny Pickett is a team captain of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he just skips the final media session of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not very captain-like behavior, but we all know that Kenny Pickett sitting there would have to answer questions about being benched for Mason Rudolph. Well, and that's it. It'd probably just be a bunch of questions about him being benched for Mason Rudolph and what his future with the team looks like. And at this point, let's be honest, Kenny Pickett has no future with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to be a backup, so I shouldn't say he has no future, but his future is a backup for the Pittsburgh Steelers and then probably traded next year, like Zach Wilson's going to be trying to be traded. But it's over for Kenny Pickett with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not over for Jason Kelce, though. Jason Kelce has not made his decision official yet. Jason Kelce could still return. And this was kind of surprising for me, too, the fact that it came out that he said immediately after the game in a big moment when he's all emotional that this was it. He's going to retire, that he told the team that. Because that's typically not how it goes. Typically, players wait until they're less emotional to make those decisions. And that's what Jason Kelce said, that he hasn't made that decision yet. Maybe he's lying, but if he is lying, I don't care because it's his story. It's his retirement. Jason Kelce gets to go out on his own terms. Unlike maybe Nick Sirianni, we still haven't heard about Nick Sirianni. He is meeting with all the players of the Philadelphia Eagles. Then he's going to meet with all the coaches of the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he's going to meet with owner Jeffrey Lurie. And this kind of happened last time they fired a head coach. Last time when they fired Doug Peterson, they had all these meetings, and then owner Jeffrey Lurie wasn't happy with the answers that Doug Peterson gave him of who is going to be on the team, who's going to be coaching, how do they fix it. Wasn't happy with the answers, and it's starting to look like Nick Sirianni is still on the hot seat. And maybe part of that is Jalen Hurts sick of being the adult in the room. That trending clip from back when they played the Kansas City Chiefs when Nick Sirianni flipped off the Chiefs at halftime and Jalen Hurts had to pull his arm down, say, nah, man, grow up. Maybe Jalen Hurts is sick of being the only adult in the room. Though we do know that Jalen Hurts isn't going to have an adult like Bill Belichick in the room, because apparently Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, is not a fan of Bill Belichick. The NFL news continues to roll on. We will break it all down for you on Player Profiler Today.